Hello there and welcome to QuarterPRO. This is a new Mastitis initiative in the UK for 2020. Essentially a simple three-step process designed for dairy farmers, their veterinary surgeons and advisors to be able to look at clinical mastitis data and cell count data from dairy herds and regularly monitor mastitis and cell count information, and crucially put in place targeted control measures to reduce and control the rate of new infection and new cases on farm. And really, I'd just like to take the opportunity to run you through maybe how you could go about doing this yourselves. So, as I said, QuarterPRO is a three-step process. So step one is very much around looking and analysing data on cell count and mastitis. And to help with this process, we've made available a couple of freely available downloads. The first of these is a CDL file converter tool. So as a dairy farmer or the veterinary surgeon or advisor to those dairy farms, you will be able to access milk recording information. These are CDL files from NMR, CIS or QMMS, and convert this data using the free converter software we supply. And this would calculate a range of metrics that describe new infection rates and patterns of disease on farm. There's a YouTube video that accompanies this, how to actually use the tool itself. But once you've used the tool, you'll be left with a file which you can then move on to import into the second freely available piece of software we've made, which is the actual mastitis pattern analysis tool, the sort of central part, if you like, of the QuarterPRO process. This will take the data we've converted and rapidly give you a pointer as to the main mastitis pattern on farm. When we talk about mastitis patterns, of course, what we mean is whether or not the predominant cause of mastitis is one of environmental infection or one of infection that's passing between cows, so-called contagious mastitis, and crucially where the majority of these infections are arising from, particularly if the dry period is involved or if it's actually very much a lactation pattern. There's also things the pattern analysis tool will do, such as picking up the impact of new infection in heifers and whether heifers are a significant component of the overall pattern, and whether or not there's any significant seasonality in the data, for example, the impact of more infections during summer or winter. The pattern analysis tool is very easy to use, and the idea is that at the end of this, literally seconds, the dairy farmer, veterinary advisor, consultant is left in no doubt as to where best to concentrate efforts, be that the dry period, be that lactation, for example. We then, the second part of the QuarterPRO process, then very much looks at using some of the resources we've made available. These are a series of easy-to-use fact sheets. So, for example, if the pattern analysis tool has taken your farm data and points you down the road of environmental infection out of the dry period, you would turn to the dry period resource series of fact sheets, and there you could find information on some of the key things that has come out of research in the UK over the last 15, 20 years relating to management of cows during the dry period, things around the importance of infusion technique at drying off, things around the importance of loose yard management, what happens to dry cows in paddocks and the like, and then moving on to discussing those control measures with your veterinary surgeon or advisor. The third part of the QuarterPRO process then hopes to bring this full circle, and we really encourage you to get into the habit of downloading the CDL data, converting the data, looking at the pattern tool, and looking at the resources every 3 months. Hence the QuarterPRO approach. So we're trying to predict the pattern, we're using the resources, we're optimizing control, and we're doing this every quarter, every 3 months, and getting into the habit of sitting down and basing our interventions on the data. So I hope that gives you a flavour for what the QuarterPRO initiative is looking like. Plenty of stuff available on the QuarterPRO webpage, and some more YouTube videos like this that guide you through the process.